Joe, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Mike. How are
you?
Good
to see you. Good to talk a little baseball as we get ready to head towards the Thanksgiving weekend and everything. And what have you been doing the last couple of weeks? Get the fans up to date. Since you packed up your bags, what have you been doing?
I talk to Brian on a regular basis, and we talk about players and our club. But besides that, it's husband, father, and it's a wonderful time.
How much time do you spend? First of all, when do you start getting back into Yankee work? And number two, how much time do you spend on baseball and Yankee-related things daily?
I don't think you ever leave the Yankee work because you have to talk about your club and what you're doing with players, and scenarios come up all the time. But as far as spending a lot of time per day, you don't. Because, A, you don't know what your club's going to be.
Right.
You know, you play with lineups in your head, but that could change depending on what our club's going to be.
Do you talk to players a lot this time of year?
You do talk a little bit, and players get away, and they got their things going, and a lot of them are, do their things. But I'll talk to a player here, a player there. I won't call them all on the same day because that's too long on the phone for me.
Do you ever decide, Joe, to go meet with a guy or spend a day with a guy, just like I want to go spend a day with this guy, or do you set up in the offseason ever to go spend a day or do something you want to get to with a certain player or something like that? Do you do something like that?
If you feel that there's a need, you do. But so many players don't live here. I mean, they're spread out all over the country, and you talk to them on the phone. If you have a need that you feel you take care of, most of the times you'll do it on the phone. Once in a while, you meet face-to-face.
How long does it take you to get over when you pack your bags? You lose in the first round, which is always, I know, bitter for a Yankee. But you make the playoffs, you lose a tough first round. How long does it take that to get out of your head?
Long time, because you think about it, and you think about the games and the different scenarios. And I think it really starts. You get beyond it once the season completely ends, when there's no baseball on TV. Because when you're watching the next round or you're watching the World Series, you're thinking about, man, that could have been us, that could have been us. But then once you get farther and farther removed from that, your attention really starts turning to the next season.
I've had guys tell me in every sport that when they're eliminated from the playoffs, they cannot watch another minute of the postseason. And other guys say, yeah, I watch all of it. Are you a guy who watches all of it or cannot watch it?
Very little.
Can't watch it?
I don't watch a lot of it. No, just because I'm so busy with my family.
But does it annoy you not being there? Can you sit there and do you see yourself sitting there watching a World Series game, managing along? Do you
No, it would annoy me that we're not there. So, I didn't even see the Cardinals get the last out.
I didn't.
No, I did not see that. So for me, it annoys me that we're not there.
All right. How do you, when you take a step back now, what would you say about the Yankee season in 2011?
We had a lot of great things happen, whether it was Derek Jeter's 3,000th hit, Mariano Rivera breaking the all-time saves record. I thought we had a pretty good year. I thought our young players really stepped up in the absence of. We lost some key players for a substantial amount of time, whether it was a Derek or it was an Alex or it was a Soriano or whether it was a Phil Hughes. And we had a lot of young players step up. It was very disappointing for me that we didn't accomplish what we wanted to this year, because I thought this was a special group of guys that really found ways to overcome things. When we got down, or whether we were behind the Red Sox, we were 1-8 against them. Guys found a way to overcome things, and I felt that we were going to be able to do that in the playoffs, and we weren't able to, and that was hard for me.
Did you have a different feeling? Do you have a different feeling going into the postseason each year, or do you just, when the postseason starts, say, let's just get to work? Or are there years like the year you won it, were you supremely confident? Were you less confident in one of the other years? How do you feel differently each time, or you just say, you know what, let's just go to work?
No, I think you say, let's just go to work. Maybe the first time you do it, you feel a little bit different. But I think at that point you say, let's just go to work, and you start preparing the last week of the season if you have a good idea who you're going to play.
So you always think you have a good chance?
I do. With the club that we have, I always feel that we have a good chance.
In 2009, did you feel more about that team than the others, or not really?
No, not really.
Okay.
I really believed in this club because of, like I said, we won 97 games, and we didn't have our third baseman really for 9 weeks, Jeet for almost 4 weeks. We lost Soriano for Jabba. We just kept losing guy after guy, and a young player would step up for us.